Hello everyone, this is MI003, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a really important topic. Can't really be stressed enough, and that's weapons safety. If you were going to be a gun owner, um, weapon safety, it's something that you just can't stress enough. To be responsible, to know how to handle your weapon, to make sure you're not causing any accidents, unnecessary injuries, or even deaths. Um, so yeah, let's dive in. First weapon safety rule is to treat every weapon as if it's loaded. Now I've got with me here the weapon that I actually use for my concealed carry. It's a Ruger SR9C. It's a compact 9mm. Um, so yeah, obviously, it's not a big caliber, but it's nice to conceal. Um, but yeah, so treat every weapon as if it's loaded. Now I know for a fact that this weapon, it's what we call condition 3 right now. So I've got a magazine in, but I don't have a round in the chamber. Um, so right here, my weapon actually has a little tab right here. This is loaded when up. You notice that's flush right there. And slide my finger across it with ease. So that tells me right there there's no round in the chamber. However, if I eject the magazine real quick, I did have some rounds in the magazine. So regardless, you should always treat every weapon as if it's loaded. So I know right now that this weapon is not loaded, and just to make sure, I'm going to pull this back and visually inspect the chamber. That's clear. Put the safety back on. So I know, and you know, this weapon is unloaded. However, that does not mean that I can just, go swinging around, pointing it at people, and acting crazy. Okay, a lot of coaches for various sports will tell their team, practice like you play. Okay, so if during practice you're goofing off, messing around, not really trying very hard, it's going to show in the game. When it's really important. So if when you're not, say you're not at the range or something, um, you're just at home, and even if you think the gun is unloaded, even if you know it's unloaded, if you just you're goofing around, pointing the gun at everybody, pretending to shoot them, it's extremely dangerous. What's to say you're not going to do that when you're actually at the range and it's important, um, when people's lives would actually be at stake. So yeah, just always treat a weapon as if it's loaded. Don't be goofing off. Um, that kind of thing. Secondly, you notice I haven't really touched the trigger yet. Keep your finger straight and off the trigger until you intend to fire. So this kind of ties in with the first one, as far as treating a gun as if it's loaded. Don't put your finger on that trigger unless you're actually going to shoot something or someone. It's really just that simple. So like even at the gun range, like when I get there, I'll load my weapon and everything. I'll wait until my eyes are looking down the sights here at my target. Then I'll put my finger on the trigger and start shooting then. So yeah, always keep your finger straight and off the trigger until you intend to fire. Thirdly, never point your weapon at anything you do not intend to shoot. This also ties in with that first rule about treating everything as if it's loaded. Unless you want to shoot something, don't point your gun at it. Like, it's really just that simple. It's not a toy. It's a tool that can be dangerous if not handled properly. So it's important to not point your gun into something unless you actually want to shoot it. Fourth weapon safety rule is to keep your weapon on safe until you intend to fire. Okay, so, this is massive. You know, a lot of weapons have a little safety right here, usually right here by the handle, just for easy access with your thumb. Always keep that safety on, so that way, just to help prevent any accidental discharge. So, like, say you know, if you forget that second rule about keeping your finger off the trigger, you know, if I were to pull the trigger right here, my gun's not going to do anything. Okay, and I actually have an additional safety in the trigger. This little this little plastic piece right here. I can't pull the trigger unless that part is depressed. So, like right here, just pulling on the side of it right here, it doesn't do anything. It's not until I actually push that plastic piece down that I would be able to pull the trigger. However, the safety's on, so it's not going to do anything. However, that being said, safeties can fail, so you shouldn't be pulling the trigger anyway. I know I just did, just to show a point, but keep your finger off the trigger, keep your weapon on safe until you're actually ready to fire. So until you actually get to the gun range, you've got that target down sight, looking down your sights, or if you're out hunting, you've got that deer, in your sights. Keep your weapon on safe. Don't need any accidental discharge. Don't want to scare the deer away. Don't want to, shoot somebody by accident. And lastly, the fifth weapon safety rule that isn't really talked about a lot, but still just as important, is to know your target and what lies beyond it. So I mean, this is huge. If you're shooting, just practicing out back, so you've got some pumpkins or something. You went and set them up in the backyard, and you're shooting at them. What's behind those pumpkins? I mean, because the pumpkin's not going to stop a bullet. So what's beyond those? What are you shooting at, really? Or like with hunters, one of the things I was taught in hunter safety quite a while ago. If you're say you're done hunting, you're heading back to the house, and you see this this beautiful 8-point buck. It's walking and actually comes between you and your house. You just need to stop and wait for the deer to leave. You never want to shoot at it, if it's between you and something else that's that's important. So I mean, worst case scenario, what if you miss? That bullet could go right into that house, could hit somebody, could hit something, like you got your 50-inch TV or whatever. Now you got to go get a new TV. Or if somebody's in the living room or something, say the bullet travels through and hits them, now you've just killed somebody when you were trying to shoot a deer. It's not worth it. So always know your target and what's behind it. And then lastly, just to recap everything, because like I said, really can't stress weapon safety enough. Treat every weapon as if it's loaded. Keep your finger straight and off the trigger until you intend to fire. Never point your weapon at anything you don't intend to shoot. Keep your weapon on safe until you intend to fire. And then lastly, know your target and what's behind it. That's all I've got. Again, this is MI003, and just go out there, practice good weapon safety, and have a good day.